Hello, and it's time for another video. So I had a comment on one of my previous videos, and it was from Gaming Goose. Thank you for your comment, mate. I appreciate it, and I agree with most of it. So Gaming Goose said basically that the job's a lot harder than we make it out on the videos, as most of the time we're sat in laybys making these videos, bidding on work for a couple of hours and not getting work, etc., etc. And mentioned a point where he'd left his house at 5 a.m, gone and parked up in a lay-by, bidding on work, and he was still there at 1 p.m, so he gave up and went home and made nothing for the day. And he said it's extremely hard to make minimum wage off the job, especially when you've got to cover stuff like your pension or any sick pay, time you need off, or holidays, etc. And I agree. If I was solely on the CX, I don't think this would work for me. If I didn't have customers, it'd be a struggle. It really would be a struggle to make everything work and make ends meet. But luckily enough for me, I do have customers. I think people that run solely on the CX should know that it is a very, very, very difficult job. This week, for instance, it's a 5-day week. We're on Friday now, and I'm probably looking at around 72 hours working this week to make some money. So you have long days, and you're out a lot, and you're not at home much. And some days, especially like I've had days where my customers are quiet, and I'm bidding on the CX all day, and you don't get anything. Some days are just no money days, and especially over January, February this year, March, April, and May. Sometimes it's hard to find a job every day. And then if you do find that job, you're just a bit worried that you're not going to get a job back, or a second job for the day, or a third job for the day. And that's what you need to do. So I think if you're coming into this job, you need to know that it's hard work, it's long hours, it's stressful. You're not always going to get as much as you want. Some days you'll have a really good day, the next day you'll have a terrible day. It's like, I always think, like, if you're having a really good week and you get like Wednesday, Thursday, you've already made your targets, etc., carry on working, work as hard as you can for the rest of the week, because next week it might be really quiet, so you might need that extra money just to move across. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think you've got a lot of good points there, and I do think it's a lot harder than people think it is. I don't necessarily think that the videos that I do and quite a lot of the lads do, like, fluff it up and make it look like we can earn loads of money. We're never going to be millionaires. People that do well, I tend to be, well, people that like can make a really good living out of it, tend to be people that have already paid the mortgage off, don't have young kids, don't have any sort of debt, and then people can make a really good living off, like being on the CX and being a courier. If you do have the opposite way around, you've got finance on your van, you've got a mortgage to pay, you've got kids that need your attention and need money and clothes and etc., and you've got any debt, then the courier industry, it's not going to help you. It's going to stress you out unless you've got your own customers. Because once you get your own customers, you charge a little bit more, and the work's a lot more frequent. And you don't have to rely on bidding and trying to go lower than everyone else to get the job, because the job's yours anyway once you've got them customers. So yeah, in all honesty, this is a hard job. It's tiring. It's exhausting. It's not just tiring. And it can be stressful when you've not got the work, you can't find the work, and then you get wound up because people are undercutting you and underbidding, and you don't need any of it if you can. If there's something else you can do, like if you're in a good paying job and you're watching these videos going, oh, I think I can make more money doing that, you probably won't. You're probably just jumping into a load of stress is what I was going to say. But it is freedom. Like, you're self-employed, you drive wherever you want to go. I have covered this entire country. I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles over the last 14 years I've been doing this. Like, you'll see parts of the country that most other people won't travel to, because most people aren't going to go up to the Scottish countryside, but you might have a delivery there and it's beautiful. Most people aren't going to go to the Land's End for a holiday. Some people will, but quite a lot of people in the country won't. And when you get there, you're like, wow, I didn't know this existed. This is beautiful. Everywhere, like, the UK has a lot of really nice places, but most people won't experience them because they live in city centres or they live in areas just outside city centres, and if they do go on holiday, it's either abroad or just so like a typical place. They don't go exploring. Not a lot of people explore, but in this job you get to explore. So that is a good point. But if you're not going to work, you're not going anywhere, and that is, I think, what Gaming Goose was getting at. It is very difficult to actually get the work, and it's a very stressful job, and I do my best not to fluff up this job and say, like, yeah, you can make loads of money, you can do this, you can do that. Like, if I have a good day, I like to tell you about it. If I have a bad week, I like to tell you about it. If everything's up the wall, I say it, I mention it. Like, there's been one video which was a little bit about money. Like, I made £1,000 in a day, but I was custom work and I was out for hours and hours and hours on end, and that is not a typical day for most people. So yeah, do think about it if you ever want to come into this job. If you're already in it and you're struggling, I'm sorry if you ever thought that my videos fluffed it up and you're going to be a millionaire. You won't be. I won't be a millionaire. I'll live a comfortable life, but not a millionaire. So hope that video answers the question and helps and gives everyone a bit of clarity on the job. Bye bye.